from ANP Reacts with Thomas from Wolfheart. How are you today?
I am now better than I was before today.
You look like you're very laid back. You're very relaxed.
I am now. You should have seen me 1 hour or 2 hours or 4 hours ago. It was still a working day. It's 3 o'clock in Finland now, so my day is done. So now I'm good.
Yeah, my day is just starting. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here.
But it's also Friday in there, so I think you're gonna be good eventually.
Yeah, it's the end of the week, so there's nothing bad about a Friday. So let's get right into it. You guys just played 2 shows with Wintersun. How did they go?
They went really well. We were supposed to play 3 shows, but there was some back injury with Jonas, our drummer, and then he went into surgery, and then there was some complications. So he was supposed to be able to play all the 3 shows, but when it came close to the first show, he wasn't able to sit properly yet. So we had to have a session guy, but we couldn't find a guy to replace Jonas for the first show. So we only played the second and the third one.
How's he doing now?
What?
Is he okay?
He's always okay. He had some what is the word when you have this? You have the spine, and then you have the vertebrae, and then you have this soft thing between there. So it was pushing the nerve, and his left leg wasn't functioning well, which can be quite a shitty thing for a drummer.
Yeah, he definitely needs his legs.
I like him to have both working legs. So, but we were also lucky because back injuries can be really tricky. But the surgery went well, and he's able to come to Canada. He was able to play the drums in the studio, so he only missed 3 shows. So
that was going to be my next question if he was coming to Toronto.
Oh,
that was going to be my next question. Is he going to be okay to do the Canadian tour?
He is. He's definitely going to be okay. He started rehearsing fully with the drums already, and I would be really bummed not to have him there also.
So you guys announced not too long ago that you were signing with Napalm Records. How did that decision come about? Was it a difficult one for you to change labels and then finally make the decision to go with Napalm Records?
Well, trying to be really diplomatic here, but leaving Spinal Farm wasn't difficult at all. that was something I was hoping to happen. But then when we started to be in contact with the other labels, there was a lot more offers on the table that I was expecting, and that was really difficult. That was something that actually was haunting my dreams. Even there was huge labels with huge offers, but not deciding by the rank of the label, but what would be the best partner for us. That was the tricky thing. But I do believe that Napalm is the choice for us, like number 1. So we'll see what happens when the album comes out. But it was nerve-wracking. It was 3 weeks that we were deciding between 4 labels in the end, and all of them were just stopping the offer and trying to get us on their team. So it was a new situation for me also. I haven't been in this situation where you like have that size of labels competing of your attention. So
you said that you were surprised with that. Like I'm surprised that you were surprised, considering what you guys have done with Wolfheart and what you have done in general with your other projects. Why were you so surprised that so many labels would be interested in having you guys on their team?
It was the size of the labels. I'm not going to go through the labels now because I wouldn't feel fair to kind of compare them now that we already made the decision. But the size of the labels was surprising, especially nowadays. Labels are really careful when it comes to signing new bands. And I do admit things been going well for Wolfheart, but we are not that big. We are not like not throwing money into the bank vault of the label yet. We are in the size range that we still need a label who will put us a lot of work behind us and invest time and money. So considering that was a surprise for me. But then again, I'm from Finland, which makes me the part of the pessimistic race, the most pessimistic race in this universe. So we are always surprised when something happens. Because the default is that you just born, you suffer, and then you froze to death. And if you are lucky, you froze to death when you're old. That's the definition of the Finnish happiness. You get to suffer until you froze alive when you're old. So everything positive that happens between there, you're just gonna be surprised.
Yeah, you're painting a very dark and ominous picture of Finnish culture, which really matches well with the music that you create.
Yeah, there's a reason why the music is as it is.
So have you started working on your 4th album yet with Napalm Records? Have you guys started the process?
75% of the album is recorded already, and we done already raw mixes of the songs. So we are only missing guitar solos and vocals. And the album should be mixed and mastered in 6 weeks.
Wow.
So it's quite a good situation with the album already.
So when do you expect to release it? Perhaps this year, early next year? Do you have any time frame in line?
Somewhere between September and October.
Wow, that's really cool. Like following your Canadian tour, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the point of the Canadian tour. We got the offer, and the timing fits really well. I do have the release date for the album, but I am not allowed to say it yet. But there will be things to follow the Canadian tour also.
So in terms of the album, if you already have that date in mind, in terms of September, October timeframe of when the album will come out, can the fans expect some music videos leading up to that with a little bit to give everybody a little bit of a taste?
The first video single should be out in July. Yeah. We are planning to make 3 videos for this album. We already started shooting the first one. First one in Iceland. So there's not that we managed to get an upgrade with the label. We of course are aiming to upgrade with the album and the videos also. So there's going to be one more video, and hopefully the album will be good also.
It's like you got some Star Wars money now to play with, so you can go a little bit crazier on your videos.
Sadly, no. But it's enough that we could make things happen. Then again, I've been doing all of the Wolfheart videos with one of my friends. He's one of the most talented photographers I've ever seen or known. And he likes to do music videos. So he's been shooting all my videos. I do the production and editing, which allows us to do more videos than bands probably usually can, because we can keep the cost quite low, because I'm in a shitty band. They don't pay me for making videos. So making videos is more like a hobby for me, but that means that like with the budget of 1 video, we can make 2 because we don't need to pay salaries.
Wow, everybody works pro bono.
Almost. I do. but then again, it's my choice. I could only just make 1 video, take money making that video, and that means that because of I take the money, I wouldn't be able to make the second one. And I'd rather use the money for the production and the locations and stuff like that than just get a salary for myself.
Let me ask you this question about the videos. How important do you find the video itself in the way you tell the story of the music you've created for that specific video?
There is some connections, but they are basically, I never would like to create the same story that is in the lyrics. That would be impossible to begin with. I would be just disappointed myself for the result. Because the way I write the songs and the lyrics, I always write the song first. I don't write the lyrics until I go to the studio. I don't have any lyrics for the album yet. And I'm starting the vocals in 1 week. But I first need to have the songs ready. Then while listening to the song, I get this like still image. Is the easiest way to explain it is like a still image of a movie. Like a movie poster. Let's put it that way. And then I basically the lyrics are about the movie around the poster. So the music and the lyrics are two different things. And if I would try to make the video like I see the image of the poster that is the base of the lyrics, it would be just a failure because imagination competing with the real life and the reality of the budgets and what can we actually make with the videos, that would be like. So then again, the video is a little bit different story than the lyrics are. Then I would need the Star Wars money. If I would have the Star Wars money, then I would make the videos to look exactly what I have the image in my head. But sadly, we are not there yet.
It's scary to think that eventually, knowing your work ethic, knowing the work that you put through, knowing the quality of the music, eventually you will get into that Star Wars money. So it's kind of scary to think what kind of things you can do once you have those kind of resources available to you.
I would skip the whole movie thing and aim directly for Time Machine or something like that. If we are talking about that size of money, then I do like to think bigger than I can actually do. And that means that when I get the idea for a video or something, even though if it's bigger than we can actually do, of course, I'm trying to achieve the bigger one because I already have the idea. Which is also at the same time, it's pushing me to do bigger things in general when it comes to videos. If I would only stare at the budget, then I would basically downsize everything. And it's just a hobby for me for now. So my work doesn't make the budget bigger. So basically, more I work for the videos, the bigger I can make them seem without actually having the money. But saying that, I would enjoy having the money, but like I can give you a little peek about the upcoming videos. We have an okay budget, but it's a music video budget for a metal band, not a George Lucas style of stuff. But there's gonna be 3 videos that are gonna be linked, so there's gonna be storyline following through all those 3 videos, which means that it's gonna make this like a trilogy kind of thing. So if you put all the videos together, you will get like at least 15 to 20 minutes of continuous story. So which means like the videos and the music are also kind of like soundtrack in the short movie, which doesn't make any sense when it comes to like thinking about the budget and the promotion and stuff like that. But I got the idea, so now my only concern and stress is to actually make it happen somehow.
Well, in June, you're coming to Canada for a very extensive Canadian tour. And before we get into that, you're going to see some really cool scenery here. So perhaps you'll become inspired and you will include some of that scenery in one of the future videos. That would be super cool. But just wanted to throw that one in there. But your Canadian tour is starting in June. How did that come about? Because let me tell you this, not a lot of bands come to North America and do an extensive as you guys are doing, Canadian tour. Normally there's a little bit of a US tour with 2 or 3 stops in Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver kind of thing. But you guys are doing a super extensive Canadian tour. So how did that opportunity come about?
You probably know the Finnish band called Kalma. I think you did a reaction of that also.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes.
What did you say?
Yeah.
This is awkward. Now it can really became really awkward. Sorry. Do you know the Finnish band called Kalma?
Yes.
You know them?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, good. I've known the band for like 10 years, and they've done 4 Canadian tours already. And the same promoter who's been arranging their tours was in contact with me, offering that she would be interested of doing the tour. And I was talking with the guys of Kalma, and they only tell me good things about touring in Canada. And the thing is, like, if you want to tour in US, you need the visas and the working permits, which is gonna cost you like $6,000 to $7,000.
Oh.
Insane amount of money. And when you do the application thing, you pay the thousands of dollars, and still it's not guaranteed to even get those. So it's always a risk when you go to tour in US. It's quite a big financial investment. When you come to Canada, you just book the flights and play metal. Canada is similar like Europe. You just go there, you play the shows, you go home. Super simple, but that's why, like, it wouldn't make any. A lot of people have been sending me messages of like, why don't we just stop by in US also? Because we are already in Canada. Just cross the border and do some shows, but crossing the border would cost us at least $5,000.
Wow.
And the application time is 6 months. So we would have needed to start the process in December last year already. So the US is just really complicated. It's getting more difficult each year. Cost more money, longer processing time. But want to play in Canada, just book the flights and
show up.
Yeah. And things been going really well for Kalma in Canada. So it's immediately sounded like a great idea.
Yeah, you guys are playing some really great venues, like smaller club venues, but really good venues. I expect some really packed houses. It's a really long, extensive tour, and like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of traveling because it's not like we're a huge country with cities really spread out. So there's going to be some traveling. It's going to be some scenery. You're going to be able to take in all the Canadian culture, which in some ways is very similar to Finnish culture. We're very pessimistic people as well.
That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. But the nature is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And one thing I really like is road tripping. That's really relaxing for me. Just sit behind the wheel and drive to places. So probably I'm gonna do a lot of driving when I get there. So I'm already counting days just to be able to drive through Canada. Plus, we're gonna be able to play 10 shows, so which is like a big bonus on top of the road trip.
Let me ask you this: what are your personal expectations from that tour? Like for that tour to be successful in your books, in your mind, what needs to happen?
We need to have fun. That is the thing, and that is what I'm really extremely happy about Wolfheart and the lineup. Is it's not just that the guys are like insanely talented musicians, but we have become so good friends. So it's just the main thing is just to get on road with the guys. That is what I'm looking forward the most. Of course, I do look forward for the shows, but just being in the same car with the guys is gonna guarantee fun time for me. and we don't rehearse or hang out at all because we are living so far away from each other in Finland. So we don't get to hang out. We don't get to play together. We don't get to rehearse unless there's a tour. So, and by saying that, since I'm gonna be trapped in the car with the guys, it's gonna be fun already. So it's kind of win-win for me. I don't see any option that the tour wouldn't be a success in a personal level. Of course, I don't know this. Where are we in the when it comes to Canadian metal scene? So I don't have that big of expectation when it comes to among sizes of the audience because it's our first time in Canada. I have no idea how my previous bands or Wolfhard previous albums have done in Canada, so it's all just a question mark. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be super cool.
I think you guys are going to do very well. I think the reception from the fans, I think you guys are going to have packed shows. And like I said, the venues are very, from what I've looked so far, especially the one in Toronto, is very intimate and interactive. So we'll give the fans a feel like they're almost part of the band, if you will. There's going to be a lot of proximity to the band. So I really enjoy those kind of venues because it really allows you to connect with the music and connect with the band.
We'll see. I was just checking out the live comments. I need to do one reply. There was somebody asking, what is Star Wars money anyway?
I saw that.
Have you seen the Star Wars movies? That's the money how you make the Star Wars movies, which means with equals to big money. Star Wars is big money.
Yeah, it's like a boatload.
yeah, a big boat.
I want to take something you said about having fun in the car with the guys and how to you the whole band is a lot of fun hanging out with each other. I've noticed that you've taken some time to really help promote some of the projects that some of the members of your bands are involved with, either be Mika with more Subita or some of the other guys with Blood Red Hourglass. Is that something that it's important to you to use your platform to help those other guys that are in your band that perhaps are getting started with their own bands and get them some exposure?
I did have my own label still 2 years ago. I did release the previous album of both bands, Blood Red Hourglass and Mor Subita. So I have this kind of like this working relationship with the bands also. But of course, that working cooperation started because I like the guys and I like the music, and I would be like I don't see myself standing on a platform of any kind, but if me posting something about them will help them, that's just great. And then again, when I was starting my bands, the previous bands, or with Wolfhard, there was people helping me out, posting stuff. So that I think that's how it should go. Well, I don't think too much about it, but it's just I hope it's a natural thing to do. If you hear something that you like, you're gonna try to help it out or find other people who might like it.
It's really unselfish and really cool. Not a lot of people think that way. That's why I wanted to ask you that question. And you mentioning how expensive it was going into the U.S. You guys have signed with Continental Concerts USA. Will that partnership help you guys bridge that gap and that financial burden to get you guys into the U.S. market?
Yes. Yes, they will. They're not gonna resolve the burden. We still need the visas and the working permits
and the money.
But there will be tours coming in very near future. We're gonna be able to announce the US tour and the European tour. So that is let me just shut up my phone. but that's going to be quite a big change, considering the previous releases. Now that we have the Continental and also we have the Hard Impact management behind the band. He's actually Canadian guy who is our manager. So we've been building this Canadian connection lately.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing with you guys lately.
Yeah, but it's gonna create quite a big change. I don't know what the change is gonna be when it comes to success of the band. That remains to be seen. But at least now we are able to come and tour in the US.
And signing with a label as big as Napalm Records, is that another extra piece to that will allow you guys to have the support that you need to be, a more constant presence in the North American market?
I do hope so. I've been in many bands who have been signed in many labels, so it's not the easiest business. But that was one of the reasons to sign for Napalm, that they have a really strong hold in Europe, but they are also strong in US. And that we have one label doing the release in both US and Europe. So there's no licensing partners, that we are like a equal priority for the label in both territories. So there's not many labels left in metal scene that are able to do a solid release in Europe and US. So that was one of the main reasons to sign with them. And of course, we hope for the best, that things go well in US also. So we would be able to tour again 2019, and like having US in the steady touring cycle in the future also. But we still haven't done it the first tour, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's hope for the best.
It feels like for you, it's one step at a time. You come across as somebody who doesn't like to take a step larger than your leg. So you like to calculate every single move so that things happen the way you want them to happen and happen at the right time in the right way.
I do plan quite far ahead, and I like to do planning, but I do like to execute the plan step by step. So it's a different thing to plan things and have visions how things should go and how you want them to go, and then actually executing the plan to make it happen. You execute the plan step by step, but I think that would be, well, not boring, but boring is a good word. I don't want to be this calculated. Like, if I would only dream things step at a time, that wouldn't lead me that far. So I do have my wild ideas and wild dreams, what would be the best scenario to happen. But then again, when it comes to actually doing the stuff, then I'm a lot more down to earth and feet on the ground.
I want to change things a little bit from Wolfheart to Before the Dawn. You guys are playing at Newman Rock this summer. Any chances of something else happening forward from that point on? Perhaps a live album, a re-release of some material that you guys have done in the past, working on some new material, perhaps some new shows. But is this going to be a one-time deal, or is this perhaps opening the door for an old school reunion?
Well, the last summer festival we did Before the Dawn in a John Smith festival, that was supposed to be one time thing, but something happened. We are playing again this summer. At this moment, I don't see any point or reason to make another album or do any more shows. But last summer, I was telling everybody that this is going to be only one show and never again. So who knows? But then again, I already know I'm going to be so booked with Wolfheart until end of 2019. So even if we would decide to do something together with Before the Dawn, that would be somewhere in the far future. So, but who knows? Who knows?
You would be in a galaxy far, far away. It looks like.
Yeah, we are circulating the Star Wars thingy.
I don't want to take too much of
Now
your
that we
time.
mentioned the Star Wars, I have to. I'm quite a big science fiction fan when it comes to movies, especially on the TV series. And second last album of Before the Dawn, Death Star Rising, the title actually means the Death Star from Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
That is, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so that I'm really geeking out right now about that.
But
So-
yeah, of course, I wasn't talking that much about the subject when the album came out because it probably wouldn't seem very like artistic or poetic like that. But that was the name means like imaginary sequel to Star Wars, where the Death Star actually comes back.
Wow, that's super cool. On that note, let me ask you this: since you're a Star Wars fan, you're a sci-fi fan. Have you heard the band called Galactic Empire?
I've heard the name. Otherwise, doesn't ring a bell.
They're like a Star Wars theme metal band.
No, that sounds really bad on the paper. Okay, I had the Star Wars in the album title already, so I'm not the right person to put any critics. But yeah, because I do like to implement some kind of humor when it comes to, especially we make stupid videos with Jonas, and we have some hidden jokes in the song titles and stuff like that. But this humor connection with metal music is not really my cup of tea. So I do need to check the band, but at this point, I will give them 3 out of 5, the max.
Well, they're only instrumental.
Sorry.
They're only instrumental. There's nobody singing, so that's probably a plus.
No.
No.
They are Star Wars theme band without vocals. Okay, I do need to check them out still, but okay, now it's 2 out of 5.
Okay. It's getting worse as we go. Oh God. I know you're a busy guy. I really don't want to take too much of your time, but I saved this question for last. This is my last question I have for you because I really wanted to touch on this, and that was your passion for weightlifting. I've seen some of your videos, and my God, they're absolutely impressive. You could probably power lift my house. It's not a big house. It's a really small house.
I do hope it's a really small house. But yeah, I do like weightlifting.
Where did that passion come from?
I can't really say. I've been doing on and off gym training when I was like 15, but then again, it's always been like a hobby. There's always long pauses because of work or touring or going to studio. So I've never been able to focus fully on the training. But then again, it always have been like this. What is the word in English? Well, it's just like something completely different than I usually do. Like my head is like involved with all the music stuff constantly. I'm thinking about music or the productions or the touring, or there's some kind of planning going on when it comes to my bands constantly. Then the rest of the time, I'm focused on the work. I'm borderline workaholic. So when I go to gym, I can switch my brain off completely. And training in the gym is something just, gives me like 1 hour, 1.5 hours silent time. in the head. And keep, like, when I get to focus on the gym training, it's just like holiday from the everyday real life. That is the main thing for me at the gym. And I don't know, it feels good to be able to lift heavy things. It's quite primal thing, I think. It feels good
Now,
to be strong. It feels good to be strong. But then again, people I know and people I've been training, everybody is stronger than me. So I do know my place when it comes to weightlifting scene. I'm nothing. So it's also I made the bench videos, and if you don't, for some people it might seem like a big thing to be able to bench 190 kilos, but then again, the people I know, it's just warm up weights. So I do know my place. So I don't think too highly of myself when it comes to weightlifting, but it's a really, really good way to get the extra pressure and stress out also.
I have two follow-up questions to this weightlifting. Okay, the first one is, imagine me, the first video I saw from you was a Wolf Hart video, was the flood. So that was the first video that introduced me to the band. Then we decided to go back and check Before the Dawn. So we did Faithless. So when we do that video, we see a completely different you. And I was like, that can't be him. That's like half of him. Like, what happened? Like, imagine my surprise when I go back in time. I went through that time machine, that Star Wars money time machine, and I go back in time and I see a much thinner and skinnier you. How long did it took you to get from point A to point B?
Well, there's like 100 years between those videos, so that's people will change in that period of time anyway. There is a quite a big contrast, but that is a contrast that you get when you are on training and off training. It's just, if you don't go to gym for a half a year, you will get smaller. It doesn't matter how much you use to train, because you eat less when you don't train that much. So overall you get smaller. And around the flood video, I was really heavy on the bench press. I was really heavy on the eating. So when I knew that when I saw the camera was aiming at me, I might have been, putting the stomach inside of it. To be honest, I was quite a heavy guy at that. I was weighing 110 kilos or more, and now I'm 98, which is more like my normal weight. So I was bigger than I was supposed to be, and I was bigger than it didn't feel good anymore. I don't like to be that heavy, but then again, when it comes to powerlifting, by some reason, even in bench press, the heavier you are, the easier it is to handle heavier weights. So I was just eating a little bit more than I would have needed to eat just because of the training, which makes you, of course, look bigger. But it wasn't all muscle. So
wow, you looked absolutely like a fine specimen in that video. Like, it was just
that is the fine example of camera angles and shades and lights and stuff like just standing on the right spots. And but I do remember myself at that point. I was fluffier than I am at the moment.
fluffier. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that word. So the last question that I have, still related to this, and I want to finish on that note, is when you're on tour with the guys, do you still try to hit the gym while you're on tour? And more important, do you drag the guys with you to the gym?
I don't. All of us like to train, and when you're touring, actually, it's really good thing to do some physical stuff. You during the touring, you degrade into this. I don't know if the word amoeba is in English, but this like jelly kind of organism which doesn't have any spine or muscles, because you have all the schedules are set for you. You only need to wake up, go there and play, and go back to sleep, get drunk if you are into that kind of stuff, and eat quite badly. So doing some training will give you some structure and will definitely be better for your, physical and mental health. But I never drag the guys. I do prefer to train alone if I have the choice. But I of course, I will enjoy the company of my guys in the gym. I would like to go to the gym quite often while touring, but it's too complicated because the venues are never near the gyms. You don't really have the time. You are not eating that well, and if you don't eat well, it doesn't make that much sense to train. So it's really complicated. I would like to do it, and sometimes I get it done, but usually on the festival weekends, then it's easier when you have a little bit looser schedules. But when you are touring with the Nightliner, you are traveling every night to a different city, there's just no time.
Hectic schedule on the road.
Well, actually, the schedules are really easy when it comes to being a musician on the tour, but finding the time to find the gym, get there, get back there on time, you basically in 3 hours each day to find your way into the gym, get the training done, and then you would need to have a lot bigger meal that you are usually able to eat during the day and touring. So it's easier to be a little bit more flexible with the training and the tour. To enjoy the touring and relax. Otherwise, you get really easily tensed up when you are trying to fix every day the schedules and stressing out with the eating and the sleeping and stuff like that. So I think touring is for touring, and then when you get home, then you go to the gym. I know there's a few guys I know who are really, really active going to the gym during the tour, but at least so far it's been a little bit too complicated for me.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to sitting here with me and talking about Wolfheart and everything that's planned out. For those of you that missed it, we're going to be uploading this video to our YouTube channel, but I'm going to remind everybody, expect a new album September, October of this year. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. Expect some trilogy music videos happening. And more important, for those of you in Canada, don't miss this Canadian tour from Wolfheart. I know I'm going to be at the Toronto stop, so I'm really excited about it. Really looking forward to seeing you guys in Toronto and Canada. And once again, thank you for your time.
It's been cool. It's been also equally weird and cool because I don't see you in the picture.
we have to figure that out afterwards, but it's really strange.
A technical issue that, my picture of Pedro is just a small square on the side of the screen where there is only one shoulder. So I've been talking to the shoulder for 40 minutes now, but I think we're gonna see when we're gonna come to Canada, so we can fix this. I will see the whole guy, not the shoulder.
Yeah, and you're gonna see it's a big guy. I mean, not muscle wise. I don't have a 6-pack. I have more of a keg.
That is cool.
Maybe I need to hit the gym with you, but you can bench press me. So
yeah, that sounds interesting and gay at the same time. But
that is true. Okay, on that note, let's end the conversation. Once again, Thomas, thank you very much for your time, for sitting here with me today with my shoulder and doing this. We'll upload the video to YouTube as well to get the word out there about the new album, the tour, and everything about Wolfheart. So thank you very much.
Thanks.